Um, what do you think when you are aware that you radiate Kundalini energy um, to other people, and uh, that they start to process with Kundalini journey because of you? How to deal with this feeling? Because on one hand, we know that if somebody is not destined to have Kundalini awakening, this cannot be affected. But on the other hand, somebody who is destined to awaken Kundalini and is around you, you can start this process. But still, there is, it's firstly, it's a big surprise, and second, it's I feel like a little bit of what happened, how we deal with it. One time, second time, now for me it happened like three times now, and I would rather close myself at home and not go out. Can we deal with can we control it? How can we deal with this? It's
how are others responding?
Tricky.
How are others responding to their
for two, they don't know. I know because they're small. They're my children, by the way. And now today it's my client. It's my client, and she told me, and I was like, whoa. And I have a really good intuition, but I never said that she is like prepared for Kundalini awakening. But she said that some strange things happen in the middle of meditation, because I teach her also how to meditate. And she said, she explained the Kundalini, and I was like, okay, when this started? And she said, like a month ago. I don't know what this is, but there is some kind of energy, and she moves my body, and I went, whoa. I know it's a Kundalini, but it's hard for me. I don't know what to say. I will help her, because no, it's not problem in this. It's problem is with me, because I have hard feelings. What have I done? Maybe in some other cases also, which I don't know, and also people are not aware of um, the energy, or it's subtle, or I don't know. How can we take control if we can, or I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay.
What do you do with it?
Yeah. So we will all have some degree of radiance of the Shakti within us. We all radiate in general. I've said this, a few times before. Our mood, it radiates. Others pick up on it, right? You go into a room with somebody who's sad, you can feel it depending on how sensitive you are. We all have this capacity. It's not just a Kundalini thing. It's not just a spiritual thing. It's just what comes with this process. Some of us are more radiant at certain times than others at other times. And so with your children, for example, nothing going wrong there. They have you there to support them, and you know them best. They're very fortunate in a sense. One thing we can consider is that the next few decades are going to look very different in terms of the spiritual landscape. There's going to be many more people experiencing this. And so if they can look back and say, okay, my mom has experienced this, and we were talking about it when we were kids ever since, they're in really good hands. So I wouldn't worry so much about that. They have you there. When you're meditating with somebody, you cannot separate Kundalini, Shakti from any spiritual practice. You just can't do it. You can't separate it from even just going and ordering something at a restaurant. You have to just acknowledge that this is who you are. You can't, it's not like a thing you do, it's who you are, right? So within the context of meditation, this is always going to be on the table. How you approach it, that's up to you. And you use your wisdom to tune in as a teacher to see what the student needs at the appropriate time. You don't have to tell them every single thing you know about Kundalini. You can sort of invite them in the direction so they can put their own conclusions together. And this is how many teachers may operate within some traditions. In Zen, for example, there's radiance there, but they don't talk about it. It's up to the student to be able to pick up on it and put the pieces together for themselves. And that may be your approach. You may also be very open about it and say, look, we're dealing with Kundalini. If you want to work with me, this is a Kundalini thing. So people come in and they kind of either are curious about it, they're ready for it, but they know what they're getting themselves into. But also keep in mind, I know everyone here is very humble, not to get everybody to feeling arrogant or anything, but Kundalini awakening is quite a rare phenomena. So if somebody were to come to meditate with you, there are millions of meditation teachers, very few with such a radiant Kundalini. So somebody finds their way to you, they're very fortunate. It has to do with good karma, good grace, whatever it may be. So it's not a mistake, and it's something you should actually lean into because on some level, that's why they came to you. So it's not that we have to turn it off, put it away, stop it from going out and radiating. That's the point. Um, so keep that in mind. Trust that you are the facilitator, not the one who's doing any of this. You're just the channel, just there, showing up and allowing that radiance to flow. Um, Having some good resources on hand that you can share with others, referrals to other practitioners, videos, talks, books, that can also be very useful as well. Because not every teacher is suitable for every student. That's very important to understand as well. And it's up to the teacher to be able to recognize, yeah, this student, I've taken them as far as I can. Their style is a little different. I'm going to refer them to some other material, some other resources, some other people who can support them for the next leg of their journey. So it's important to just have a general overview of how you can support your clients. But overall, this sounds like quite an interesting and positive development. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Wouldn't worry.